Hi there. My name is John Stevens. I'm pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we are part of the ELCA. And welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary texts. We tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree or the kids' room or the garage or the junk drawer. You know how we've been doing it. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your week with me in this way, and thank you for the love that you are sharing with your kids, your congregations, and your families. You are rocking it. Thank you. Before we move on, I wanted to say if you're seeing this on YouTube and you haven't seen the blog or you haven't seen the Facebook page, this is the time of year that subscriptions come due and all of those things like WordPress and domain name renewal and stuff like that. In other words, if you've thought about giving, donating to the Dollar Store Children's Sermon, this is a great time to do it. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate you watching and all of that. So that's never a quote requirement. I do appreciate it, and it's very helpful. So if you thought about that in the notes on the YouTube description, and then also on the WordPress blog and Facebook page, there are ways to do that. So thank you for considering that. I appreciate it. All right, moving on. This is for the narrative lectionary, and we've started the series of 1 John, and we're doing 1 John 1 through the second chapter, verse 2. And we're talking about how we mess up. We're talking about how we sin, how we mess up, how things get broken, and about how we can then mend those, or not really us, but how Jesus, how God, through forgiveness and God's love, mends things together. So I'm looking at a couple of objects, looking at about stuff being broken and then restored. And so there's two magic tricks I'm going to talk about, and then there's one non-object lesson. So first is I have used this. This is like one of those things where if you've watched this a while, you'll be like, you're doing that again. But if you haven't seen it or you haven't used it in the past, this is a great time to do it. And it's using the ball of twine. It's like the infamous, oh, the ball of twine. You can get this. Dollar Tree really hasn't been carrying these for a while. Actually, at some point, I've got a lot of it. But so the Dollar Tree might have it, might not. But a place that does have it is in the barbecue cooking section at Kroger's, Fred Meyer's, Safeway, QFC, Albertsons, in the food prep aisle, because they use this to tie, like if you're doing cordon bleu and things like that, where you need to stuff something and then you can tie this around it. So you have your twine, and so the idea is that you've got your two pieces of twine, and so you've got the two pieces of twine, and this reminds me of relationship. It reminds me of my friends. It reminds me of my family. There are times that we mess up. There's times that I hurt someone. There's times where it seems that they've got the string here and I got the string here, and we're not together. We're separate. I mean, we were one. We were all together, and then I did something. I messed up, and now we've got two strings. But the thing is that we believe there are magic words in this world. There are magic words, and those words are, "I'm sorry," or "Please forgive me." And maybe they're not magic words. Maybe they're holy words. They are God words. They are words that we hear from Jesus, and they're words that we hear from God, that I forgive you. That is pretty amazing. And so what ends up happening is that when we have these two strings, and then when we brought back together and we said, "Please forgive me," we can find out that can be restored, that relationships can be together again. Yeah. Those are amazing words, that when I mess up and I say, "I am sorry," and then to hear the words back, "I forgive you," those are holy words. Yeah. So there's that one. And then the other one here is that with the rubber band, and I might have taught this one. I can't remember if I have or not, but still, it's a great one. So we've got the rubber band, and the thing with the rubber bands is that sometimes rubber bands remind me of my friendships, or maybe my brother, or my brother and I was going to say my sister, but my cousins, where I have a cousin, Chelsea, who is like a sister to me, and my brother, and they get pulled and they break. We got into a fight and they break. But words matter. Like, I'm sorry. Or you say, I'm sorry, and then you hear, please forgive me. Please forgive me. And we find out that it can actually, relationships can be mended. They can be put back together. They can be whole again with those holy words, I'm sorry, and please forgive me. Yeah. Now the other, we got those two, I'm going to teach them in a moment, but the other is, at least in Lutheran liturgy, we have the brief order of confession and forgiveness, where we as a body, as the church body, when we come together, we say these words, and about the ways that we have, the things that one of my favorite phrases is the things we've done and the things that we have left undone, which when I was a kid, I'm like, what does that mean? So maybe even talking about, what does it mean to leave things undone? Maybe I see something that I should respond to. Maybe you're at school and you see someone being picking on someone else and you decide not to do anything. I've left that undone. I should have, that terrible word, should, but still, I know that I could have done something. And then in that brief order of confession, it's a way of us as the body, as all of us together saying, we've messed up. We have not lived like we should have lived and could have lived. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And then we hear the words of forgiveness and grace, that we are forgiven, and then we are sent out into the world to love and forgive and be a model, but also model what Jesus is saying to us. There's words I would work on a little bit differently for the kids, but we know that feeling. And again, holy words. I am sorry. I forgive you. Wow. Yeah. Amazing. All right. So those are the three things. Now back to teaching. So with the twine, this is barbecue twine. It's like 5 strings made into one. What you're going to do is you reach in and you're going to use your fingers and you're going to pull apart. You're going to separate. This one's actually 7 strands, but you pull the strands aside, or you pull them out like this, and you notice that they want to kind of wrap in a direction. So you're going to twist them in the direction that they want to be twisted. And when you have them twisted, you get that twisted, there we are. It looks like you have 2 pieces of twine. You've got the one here and you've got the one here, and it looks like that you have 2, but you actually have, it's 1. And that was not the best twisting job, but that's the idea. I'm going to actually, I'm going to try to do that again. Pull this out, and then there you go. This will be a little better. Twist and twist. And you can get quite a bit of string. There you are. That's a little better. So you've got, anyway, you get the point. You got that, and you've got 2 pieces. You're holding 2 pieces like that, and then when you put it in the hand, you are stretching it just like that. And then you put it in the hand, and you're like, please forgive me, and the relationships have been mended, healed, restored. You can work on the words that you want to use. So there's that. Easy, easy, easy. This is probably the easiest magic trick, one of the easiest I know, and it's really great. It's good. I've used this in a wedding, actually. Had the 2 strands. We put the ring on one side, put a ring on the other side, and then these 2 strings become one, and the rings meet in the center. It's pretty cool. So there's that. Now this, rubber band. This is one that's going to take a little bit of practice. You got the rubber band. Come in with this finger here. You're going to pull this down. These go together like this. You're going to pull this up. And as it pulls up, notice how it has that X. So I'm pinching here. My middle finger is going to grab this X and pull this in like this. Then the middle finger is kind of pinching, and I roll this together like this. And it ends up, so this rubber band is doubled over itself. So here, and I put this in, and I'm holding this together. And so you're like, it's two bands together. I'm pinching the two ends here. So when I take this end here, I'm pinching, I'm holding that, hear that sound? That's the sound that it breaks, and it's broken. And then when I bring it back in, I pinch this end and I drop everything else. And there we are. And then that restores. Once again, like here, this comes down, these together, up like that, the X, finger comes into the X like that, and trying to do it slow. And doing it slow is the hard part. X, there we are. And you've got it, at one point you just gotta grab it, but you grabbed it, then pull on this end, and it pulls, it breaks. You reach, you grab that small little end, and you drop everything else underneath it. Come up, and then you can go here. There we are. All right, two things that you can watch back. If you have some questions on this, reach out to me, or you can rewind. That dates me. Be kind, rewind. Anyway, and so you've got that. You've got the string. You got confession and forgiveness. Lots of stuff. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your week with me in this way. And as a reminder, you are rocking it. Thank you. Peace. We'll see you next week.